Hey, tailgaters! Ross of the Pigskin Tales podcast here. The buzz of summer and the anticipation of the college football season is in the air. It's the perfect time to gear up with Home Field, a premium collegiate apparel brand based in Indianapolis. They have over 150 plus college designs to choose from, each one showcasing a unique part of your team's history. My personal experience with Home Field has been exceptional. Their apparel is comfortable and their vintage designs bring back fond memories of my alma mater. So as the excitement for the upcoming college football season builds, make sure to visit Home Field's website at homefieldapparel.com. Get ready today for the upcoming season and represent our favorite teams in style with Home Field. Again, that's homefieldapparel.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Yesterday's Sports on the Sports History Network. So far, we've covered the first and second World's Strongest Man competitions. Today, we'll look at the third competition, which occurred in 1979, again at Universal Studios in Hollywood, California. As was the case in 1978, there were 10 competitors, but only 2 were non-Americans. Defending champion Bruce Wilhelm retired, but there were 4 returning competitors. Bob Young competed in 1977 and returned after missing the 1978 event. John Kolb, Lars Hedlund, and Don Reinhoudt returned after doing well in 1978. So let's take a look at the competitors. First, we have Jerry Blackwell, the 30-year-old, 5'11", 420-pound Crusher Blackwell was a professional wrestler and an odd choice for this competition, as he was not an avid weightlifter or powerlifter. Next, we have Cleve Dean. The 25-year-old Cleve Dean was a hog farmer and champion arm wrestler. The 6'7", 460-pound Cleve was not a weightlifter and credited his strength to a lifetime of manual labor on the farm. Next, we have Dave Johns. The 34-year-old Johns was a bodybuilder who typically tipped the scales at around 215 pounds, but he added another 20 pounds for this competition. The 5'9", 235-pounder decided to try the strongman competition after winning Mr. America in 1977 and Mr. Universe in 1978. Next, we have Joe Doob. Big Joe was an Olympic weightlifter who, when in his prime, was one of the strongest men in the world, and he has the credentials to prove it. In 1968, Joe won a bronze medal at the Olympic Games in Mexico City, and 1 year later, he won the gold medal at the World Championships. Joe also broke 4 world records during his career. At age 35, the 6'1", 315-pounder was making a comeback and saw the strongman competition as a good challenge. Next, we have Bill Kazmaier. Kaz won the AAU National Powerlifting Championships in 1978 and the World Championships in 1979 and 1983. He set numerous world records and is regarded as one of the best powerlifters ever. The 25-year-old, 6'2", 320-pound Kazmaier also had a tryout with the Green Bay Packers and spent some time as a professional wrestler. Next, we have Bill Anderson. Anderson, who hailed from Scotland, won first place at the Scottish Highland Games 16 years in a row. After a one-year retirement, he won the USA Highland Games 5 years in a row. For those unfamiliar with the Highland Games, it consists mainly of throwing events. The 6'1", 280-pound Anderson was the oldest competitor at 42 years of age. Next up, we have Bob Young. This would be the second go-round for Young, who placed second in the first World's Strongest Man contest. At an age when most football players have already retired, the 37-year-old Young had the best season of his career in 1979, making first team All-Pro. The 6'1", 285-pound offensive lineman spent a lot of time in the weight room and had a younger brother, Doug, who was a champion powerlifter. Next on the list, we have John Kolb. Kolb, an offensive lineman for the Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers, placed a respectable fourth in last year's competition. The 6'3" Kolb was the secondest man in the competition, weighing 254 pounds. The 32-year-old Kolb, like Young, also had an All-Pro season in 1979 and was regarded as one of the strongest men in the NFL. Next, we have Lars Hedlund. Sweden's 6'3", 30-year-old weighed 318 pounds. Hedlund finished third at the 1979 World Powerlifting Championships, second at the 1979 European Championships, and first at the 1980 European Championships. Lars set numerous bench press world records throughout his powerlifting career and placed third in last year's World's Strongest Men. Don Reinhoudt. The 34-year-old Reinhoudt was the runner-up in last year's competition. The 6'3", 345-pound Reinhoudt was a four-time world champion in powerlifting from 1973 to 1976. Reinhoudt set 40 powerlifting records during his career and was a great all-around athlete in school, excelling in basketball, football, and the shot put. At one point during his powerlifting career, Don held the world record in the squat, deadlift, bench press, and total simultaneously. Now let's take a look at the events. Day 1, we have the barrel lift. Don Reinhoudt won this event, lifting a 300-pound barrel from the ground to overhead. Bill Kazmaier and Lars Hedlund tied for second place, both lifting 290 pounds. Joe Dube took third with a lift of 250 pounds. Second event is the steel bar bend. Pittsburgh Steeler John Kolb placed third in this event last year, but surprised his larger competitors by taking first this year. Cleve Dean took second place, followed by Bill Kazmaier in third. Next, we have the caber toss. This was a new event, replacing the previously used tire toss. A caber is a long, heavy pole weighing 50 kilos, and competitors had to end over end into the landing area. John Kolb won first place again, making the big boys nervous with his outstanding performance. Kazmaier placed second, and Hedlund took third. Next is the car lift. The powerlifters were expected to do well in this event and didn't disappoint. Kazmaier took first place, with Reinhoudt placing a close second. Bob Young, the big guard of the St. Louis Cardinals, placed third. Wrestler Jerry Blackwell withdrew from the competition due to an injury. On day 2, the first event was the wheelbarrow race. The objective is to push a 750-pound wheelbarrow uphill for 100 feet as fast as possible. Kazmaier won his second first-place finish with a fantastic time of 12.2 seconds. Reinhoudt took second place and Bob Young placed third. Next event is the girl lift, or the squat. In this event, 6 girls sit atop a platform while the competitors perform a squat, with more girls added as necessary. Bill Anderson became the second man to withdraw due to injury. This was another event where the powerlifters were expected to do well. Reinhoudt won his second first-place finish, while Bob Young unexpectedly beat Kazmaier to place second. Kazmaier did take third place. The hoist lift would be the next event. This was another new event, replacing the wrist roll. The objective was to hoist a washing machine attached to a pulley 10 feet into the air, with weight added as needed. Many of the competitors had great difficulty gripping the rope that was attached to the pulley. Lars Hedlund and John Kolb tied for first place, with several others tying for second. Now we go to day 3, and the first event was the tram pull. After a day of rest, the men returned to work with the tram pull. The tram weighed 7,800 pounds, and as if that wasn't enough, they added people to the tram. The competitors had to pull the tram 100 feet while racing against the clock. Reinhoudt hauled the tram the fastest and pulled out another victory. Hedlund took second place while Bob Young won third place. The next event is the refrigerator race. This event is always a fan favorite. There's nothing quite like having a 420-pound refrigerator strapped to your back and having to race with it 100 feet. The big Swede, Lars Hedlund, won this event with a time of 13.7 seconds. In second place was Don Reinhoudt, and finishing in third was Cleve Dean. The final event was the tug of war. Those with a higher body weight would have an advantage in this event, or at least one would think. But the winner was the 254-pound John Kolb, who defeated the 320-pound Kazmaier and then defeated the 318-pound Hedlund. Hedlund placed second, followed by Kazmaier in third place. The final results of the 1979 World's Strongest Man competition. Don Reinhoudt was the winner with 57.4 points. In second place, a very close second place, was Lars Hedlund, who had 55.6 points. In third place was Bill Kazmaier with 51.9 points. In fourth place was John Kolb, 51.4 points. In fifth place was Bob Young, 22.3 points. Sixth place went to Cleve Dean, who had 15 points. Joe Dube came in 7th place with 5 points. Dave Johns came in 8th place with 2 points. Bill Anderson came in 9th place with 1.3 points. And 10th place was Jerry Blackwell, who unfortunately did not have any points. That concludes our podcast for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care and God bless.
Hey there, sports history fan. Hope you enjoyed another nostalgic episode here on the Sports History Network. By now, you've heard us rave about 2 books, The Golf Round I'll Never Forget and NBA 75, the definitive history. Have you snagged your copies yet? If so, well, we applaud you for great taste. But if you haven't, well, listen up, because our generous partners over at Firefly Books are giving away a free copy of each book to one of our dedicated fans. To enter the giveaway for your chance at winning one of these awesome books, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways. Again, that's sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways. Good luck, and remember, you can come back daily to earn more entries.